I'm welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is segment two of Book Live for the Thanksgiving presentation. And we, my guides again, gave me a second thing to talk about. At the beginning of the first segment one, what I did was I talked about the importance of gratitude. And this time, what the second theme that they wanted me to cover today was more of forgiveness. And man comes to planet Earth to basically do three things: to learn to love unconditionally, to learn to serve his fellow man, and to learn to forgive. And obviously, if you have to forgive somebody, that means that chances are that you had to go through some god awful challenges in order to have to forgive someone. And so sometimes it seems counterproductive to people, and their only response is, "I want nothing to do with them." That's okay, but don't hold on to any hatred or any pain that gets stuffed back into your body, because it's what you hold on to that is ultimately going to hurt you. And so the thing that I encourage you to do is go over your list of items that have hurt you in the. I'll give you a little technique that is in my book, Own Your Power Day by Day, because it's a book of meditations. It's filled with stories, but this is one of the assignment on a yellow pad or on any kind of notebook, and put my story on one side and my benefits on the other side, and write out, take how you pause. And sometimes, as I tell my clients, the only benefit that you can come to is the fact that I would never treat another person the way I was treated. But that's a benefit. And effectively, then what you're going to do is you're going to cut through the all the story part of it, and you're going to cut through and make like little slips of paper with the stories on it. You're going to fold those little slips of paper up, and you're going to do a burning bowl ceremony. And in the process of doing the burning bowl, you will see there will be a feeling of tremendous release for you, because you will see that all the pain has amounted to ashes. And the ashes then can be sprinkled on a flower bed, can be thrown into the garbage. You can do whatever you want with the ashes, but the whole point is to get the horror of the emotion out of your body. And by writing it, you help release it. I hope that that makes sense to you, because, and if you want further clarification, or if you need somebody to talk further, I do invite you to go to my website, and you can sign up for a private session. And the everything is delineated on my website, and it's www.alicia, ALICJA, Jones.com. Jones, Jones. Anyway, thank you. And we're going to start with our next person, who is, let's see, This one, Amanda Paris.
Amanda Paris?
Yeah, Amanda Paris. So we're going to, Amanda, I'm going to tune into you. Hmm. This is interesting, Amanda. What I saw was a barn raising, and this is a concept that is very common in the Amish community. It's where the entire community comes together to help somebody build, whether it's a house, and in this case, it was a barn because it's a two-story, very large building, and it was for the purpose of storing grain. And then some livestock was, or hay, and some livestock was going to be in there, but they needed to. The women get together and are very supportive of this by doing by bringing the food and by bringing water, and the children actually are like the runners to the people that are working, and then everybody sits down at a community like breakfast, a community lunch, a community dinner. The sense that I had in that lifetime is that you were male and you had something to do. I'm not sure you had a very autocratic nature. Uh, I'm not sure you were the kind of like one of the elders in the community, but I sense that you may have been because there was a rigidity to your thinking that if what you said was law, and nobody was to question any single thing that you came forth with that didn't bring that they didn't agree with, and you really didn't want to have your word challenged. You didn't want to have anybody disagree with you. I'm not sure how well that went over with the members of your family because I see two sons and two daughters. And I feel the daughters are more acquiescent and are more willing to do that. I don't feel that the same thing with the sons. So you might have had friction with them as uh, as doing your bidding, doing your will, even to the point of are they even going to stay in the Amish community? And that if if they the sense, okay, what I'm seeing now for you is that they one stays, one leaves. And the one that leaves is basically like cut off from nobody can talk about him, nobody can uh, look for any communication from him. Um, so effectively, it's a it's a very rigid, a very harsh way of of living. And if that same person is in your life at this time, that same soul, I should say, is in your life at this time, then you would have experienced a tremendous amount of conflict because with that soul, because you essentially like cut him out of your sphere, and that's I'd be curious to see how that has transpired for you. But anyway, Amanda, I think that that's what I saw, and hopefully you can give us some feedback as to how that translated into this lifetime. Thank you. And the next gal, and she's from Facebook, is Katrina Lejeune. Lejeune, beautiful name. Okay, Katrina, I'm going to tap into you. Um, no, you came in pretty quickly. I see you as a little girl of 12 years of age. And what I see is that you're living in almost an idyllic setting. It's absolutely beautiful, gently rolling hills, very fragrant, very lovely atmosphere. And you're living there with your grandfather. So you don't have any parents. I don't know what happened to them, but it could be okay. This is what I'm hearing now, is that the flu epidemic that came after the First World War, I think 1917 to the 1920s, um, took both parents. And so the grandfather and you are living there, and you have um, a horse that you love. In fact, there's more than one, but you have one that you absolutely adore, and you ride him bareback, uh, and you kind of like almost hold on to his neck, and it sometimes it just scares your grandfather terribly because he doesn't feel that that's entirely safe. But you and the horse feel like one. There is nothing about that horse that you can't communicate with. I think you communicate with him telepathically, um, and he becomes for you uh, a way to escape the sorrow of having lost your parents, and a way to escape the fact that it gives you almost like a freedom, because there's a wildness and the ability to um, hold on to him and to just, while he's galloping. And so that you it just takes away from you any sense of heaviness, any sense of burden, any sense of pain, any sense of loss. It frees you from that, and it gives you a just a beautiful way of relating not only to the animal kingdom, but also to a aspect of yourself where you needed to have healing from the sorrow. I think you were only 5 when your parents died, and it's like one died right after the other. And I think the mother died first and then the father died. But fortunately, the grandfather and you survived. So I let's see if there's anything else I can tell you as you grow up. The only thing that I see is that you do meet a young person who then becomes your husband, who moves into the farm. And I'm not being shown what happens after World War II breaks out. But but for the time that I am seeing, like I said, it's almost idyllic for the young man that you bring into your life also not only adores you, but is very happy to live in the house with your grandfather, because your grandfather does stay and live quite a few years. Again, I'm not certain whether they're not showing me anything about World War II, so I have not a clue. But at least for the years after the war, you're very, very happy. And uh, I, again, I'd be curious to see what happened there, Katrina. So, uh, and it's interesting because your name is Lejeune, which is also French, and that makes me wonder if you uh, had roots in that lifetime, and that decided that okay, that you were going to be part of the French culture from that point on. So and just wanted to share with you. Own Your Power Day by Day has wonderful meditations in it, average of 2 pages long. So, very easy to get through, very suitable for today's lifestyle. All right. Evan Farr, welcome, Evan. And I am going to tune into you and just see what I get. Hmm. And this is a beautiful image. I'm in Salisbury, England, and the person who comes towards me is the mayor of Salisbury. He has a wonderful, uh, guess you would call it necklace, but it's more than a necklace because it's composed of all brooches, and all the brooches have a historical um, like event of England. So I don't, and I feel that this is prior to the war, prior to World War One, because of the fact that everything is peaceful. There's no stress. There's no strain. The as mayor, your job is to make sure that Salisbury, which has this magnificent cathedral, is cared for properly. There was a period of time, hundreds of years in the prior, where there were so many buildings that crowded so close to Salisbury that there's something in you that says, I'm going to take this patch of green space and I'm going to guard that with my life. And I'm not going to allow any more encroachment and any more people building on that space because you just wanted to have the cathedral, which at one time was had plenty of space around it, now had the city kind of the village kind of built in around it. The sense that I had with you is that you were very, very fair, but you were stern. You didn't take things uh, there was no frivolity in the way. If somebody needed to be punished for something that they did, because obviously you were oversaw the judge that would have meted out the punishments for any criminal effects. Uh, you wanted to make sure that they were not in excess. In other words, that the punishment fit the crime, that it was not in excess of what needed to be done. There was a, a fairness inside of you, but there was also a, a very quick ability to see if you were going to err, you erred on the side of kindness. You erred if, like, if somebody were caught um, stealing something because they were hungry, then you recognized what was at the bottom of this, that this wasn't just a theft, that this was done from need. And you also had a very humanitarian streak. And so I think out of your own pocket, because there weren't any social laws in place at that moment, but out of your own pocket, you would help people that you felt were in need. Let me just see if there's anything else I can tell you in that lifetime. You had a tremendous respect for the law. And because, like I said, you oversaw the judge and you really did not want uh, maybe there were some punishments that were very harsh that were in place, and you did not want that under your watch. You were absolutely not willing to give anybody punishment that would be in excess of even if it were quote unquote the law at the time. And there were some very strange laws uh, that had to do with livestock and had to do, uh, with stealing and things like this. So anyway, it seems like you were way ahead of your time in terms of being able to determine, and you had a little bit of the wisdom of Solomon inside of you. So anyway, hope that helps. And again, would love to have your feedback on that.
And definitely invite the people to have the readings also in your place.
Absolutely, yes. And if there, because some of you that are watching do have very personal questions, and I do spiritual and past life readings, and so and my gift seems to be, besides being able to get past lives from people, seems to be to draw out your soul purpose. And some people need to have private sessions. So please go to my website and www.alicja, ALICJA, Jones.com, which will give you the access to my schedule and to setting up an appointment. Okay.
Okay, and your book?
I did that already.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
So own your power day
We
by
love
day.
the book.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So see you next month.
Okay, and we are going to end today, and we will see you next month on December. I believe it's the 18th. It'll be the third Monday rather than the fourth Monday, because the fourth Monday is the day before uh, Christmas Eve. Yeah, and that's a little bit too late in the season. So, and I do encourage you, though, keep checking my website. By December 1st, we will announce the special that I will be running for the month of December for my book and for the hardcover. I did want to share with you one thing that I've never shown on Facebook Live, but this is the cover of what the book looks like when you remove the cover. So it's beautiful, even without a dust jacket on it. So thank you for coming, and we will see you in December.